attempt, and I guess what followed?
Yeah, and then we grinded till the end and had an opportunity to grab the 3 points at the end. And he buried one before, he stepped up and he made a decision. And it was the wrong decision. It was the wrong decision. He knows that. He knows how I feel. He knows how his teammates feel. So it is what it is. We're going to keep moving forward, and we lost an opportunity there in the end. But again, we gave up 2 goals. We're just letting guys just to run behind us. It's nonsense. This has to stop. Guys were in our backside, and they just dropped the ball behind us. And we give up 2 goals, and these are types of mistakes, whether it's the choice on the PK or the not recovering and dealing with guys behind us, that have to get tightened up. Right? This is it's imperative. So it's a grind of a week. You play 2 on the road in the Eastern Conference. You come to the 3rd one at home. It's hardly an advantage against an opposition who's rested the whole week. So you know it's going to be a battle. It was shaping up to be a really warm day. I think we got a break in terms of the weather. We set up in a way where we wanted to have possession of the game, wanted to control the ball. I thought we rushed some attacks. I thought we were fairly stable in the first half, rushed some attacks. I think our legs started to get heavy as the game started to progress. But in the end, at the end of 90 minutes, we had an opportunity to take the 3 points, which we need to take.
Going with this formation against this team, just your thinking on that, what you got from it and what maybe you didn't get from it?
Yeah, we went, wanted to control the middle of the field. We thought when we went there, we were too open through the middle of the field, and they were able to hurt us. We had our most reliable players, I think, in possession, more or less, out on the field, and we expected it to be an extraordinarily hot day. And we wanted to keep the ball. We wanted to overload the middle of the field at times. It's why we scored the first goal, to be honest, is they didn't know how to deal with the guys in the positions that we had them. I just thought as the game progressed, we started to crowd ourselves up a little bit too much instead of opening up space for each other. And then I thought, just because the game was a little slow, I thought at times we were a little bit too casual in our possessions. And if we would have been able to keep them a little bit sharper, I think we would have been in positions to hurt them. So I wanted to another look at Dejan and Javi together at top, but I didn't like it in just a flat 4-4-2 another. So we did a little bit more of an overload of the middle of the field to see how it was. So in my opinion, we should have created more clear chances. I think there was more opportunity there for us than we allowed ourselves to take advantage of for a couple of reasons, which I'll share with them. But in the end, I thought, again, considering the 3rd game in a week, expectation to be very hot, I thought the first half we were fairly controlled through most of it.
This one, not so specific to the game, but maybe as the season's progressed, just Williams and Koulibaly as a partnership in central defense. We saw them come in last year, had difficult first seasons, and they've certainly been better this year. Just wondering how you feel they've evolved as the season has gone.
Yeah, I think they have grown together. I think they've found some comfort together as a pair. But for me, it's not just about those 2; it's about all 4. And I feel like in the last couple of games, we were making mistakes in our outside backs positions that have cost us points. And again, it's about our line, our whole group, not just 2 guys or 3 guys. It's got to be about 4 guys, and then it's got to be about the support that they have in front of them. And I thought, by and large, it was manageable, outside of a few plays that we didn't manage very well.
And lastly, just your thoughts on the other 2 penalty kicks. Arms in the air, always a little bit dangerous, but also the way that Cabral handled it in the box. I thought that he was very savvy on that.
Yeah, I thought he took that quite well, He's running at a pretty good speed across the face of the goal on the run, taking the ball. And the first touch was just good enough to invite the goalkeeper out to be able to give himself a second touch. So I was glad he didn't try to finish it. I was glad that he went to try to go by him because I've seen him in those scenarios try to finish and not come out the right way. I thought it was a great decision to use the speed and the tempo that he already had going to continue past the goalkeeper. So I thought he took that really well. Handball, offside, sometimes these things, sometimes I think they were handballs in all the instances, so I don't really have an opinion. I didn't see them up close in person. I think they were, but I think for me sometimes there's some gray area in some of these things, and I don't know if it's my interpretation or the interpretation that the officials have or that it's put out there. But I felt like anytime your arm's in an unnatural position and you gain an advantage inside the penalty box or anything like that, you're going to get it should be a penalty kick. So.
Greg, looking at Ricky and his passing and what he's been able to do for you guys, especially into Cabral and then sort of shuffling it along to Victor, I think, for the first goal to make sure, again, what kind of impact has he had on this team just in the short amount of time he's been with you?
Yeah, he's outstanding, and it's what I had talked about as we were getting him, his capacity to just kind of play on the move, to pick up the ball on the run and create new angles, get into the next line, unbalance oppositions. It's different than what anyone else in our midfield does. A lot of our other, most of our other midfielders, they just receive and they keep the ball moving quick, but he's able to pick it up on the move and, like I said, eliminate guys or at least change the angle of an entry pass from when he received it, which just creates an entirely different dynamic. Sometimes you get your wingers who can beat people or slide and create new angles, but to have a central midfielder that can do it is a special thing. And I find he finds the right balance between playing quick, but also at times taking the ball on the move and dribbling a little bit and opening things up. So certainly has brought a new dimension. His quality and his awareness is obviously is there for all to see, and so he's seeing those final passes, he's seeing those actions, which is good for us. So we tried him a little bit on the edge of the diamond today because he also puts in an incredible shift just work-wise, and tried to do it with Victor and him together to see how that would play out. Worked for the first goal. I would have liked to have seen some of that create more chances through the course of it, but I think at times, like I said, we rushed it or we just missed the final passes a little bit. Timing was a little off, things like that, and some of that could do with fatigue, some of that can do with many things. So, but there was some good moments in there for sure. But Ricky's a special player.
And looking at, you talked about the outside backs and maybe missing some chances. I think Julian had 2 crosses in a row where he doesn't get it past the first defender. The second one ends up coming up behind him and scoring there. I think Raheem had a couple of those crosses too that missed that first defender. Where do you want to see that ball go? Does it need to go towards the line? Does it need to be cut back?
It depends. I mean, when you get to that final crossing position, depending on how the ball's played to you, but depending on how the defenders are organizing, whether you're behind the back line or the back line is recovered, it gives you the choice of cutback. In both of those scenarios, I think the ball has to be put in the air to the second post. There is nothing cut back and there is nothing on the first post. It's got to be, in that scenario, it's got to be to the back post, and you got to give us a chance to get in the air, as it did when Sam heads the ball and it hits the guy's hand. We give ourselves a chance, but when you hit the first player, then it's going to be a counterattack potentially, right? Or it's at least putting yourself in a tough position. So, Jules on those 2 missed them, and they went back the other way. Mark was in a good position to control it. I think he bid a little bit to try to press it, and it ended up behind us. We still won enough time. Jules recovered, sort of, but not all the way. So we had a number of occasions to deal with that transition, and we didn't. So starting with the crosses all the way to the last part of the action, we should have dealt with it. All right, thank you.
Greg came in and I think was a little disappointed in the result, and probably rightfully so. You guys have sort of fallen into this pattern of scoring first and then giving up 2 goals and then having to chase the game and getting draws out of it. What needs to be better for you guys?
Yeah, well, I think we start again the game in the right way. We were controlling the game with the shape that we want to play today. That it was more like with a diamond. 4 guys on the midfielder try to overload this area because they have only 3. It works, I think, very well. But yeah, at the end, as I always say, every week when we get casual, it's difficult. And then in the second half, I think we looked a bit more tired than usual. Also, it was the 3rd game in 1 week. It's not an excuse, but the legs and the body always feel it even more. And with the weather today, it wasn't easy. But again, we chased the game, as you said. We came back. We had the chance. Football is like this. We were talking now with Chicha. Nothing happens. At least he had the courage to take it again. he miss it, we are with him. We're gonna help him as he is helping always everyone. And this is football. We have to keep going. We have now 2 games in the road, very difficult games against Niceville and Vancouver, but we are still believing in each other. We are still believing in what we can do. And today we show again in the first half that we are building this pattern that you said, that we are playing good football and we are creating chances, but we have to keep it going until the end if we can.
You've been in a lot of high-pressure situations, trying to hit game winners, penalty kicks in that situation. Is that a mistake on Chicha's part to try to be, I don't want to say casual, but it's a little more of a finesse move than just hitting it as hard as you can into the corner?
Well, this is Chicha, the feelings he had before the second penalty. The first penalty was amazing. The second one, if he scored the chip, it will be even more amazing. He didn't. The keeper was aware of it. And at the end, like I said, it's part of the football. Sometimes you do these kind of mistakes. We are all together again, and this can happen. Nothing. We for sure we're gonna miss maybe these 2 points because it was a good comeback, a good 3 points after the amazing week that we had on the road. But as I said, we have to keep going and just try to help each other as we are doing every week.
The first goal, another brilliant pass from Ricky. You turn it and make another great pass, and it's just, exactly what you're looking for. We didn't see a whole lot of that afterwards. How much of that was, did they adjust to that, or were you guys just, not as sharp as you want to be?
Well, I think they also adjust. They see that I was playing more like number 10 all the time than their number 6. He was following me more around all the time. Then we tried to overload with Marky and Ricky in both sides, and Gaston on the middle also with me. It didn't work as the first goal, but yeah, they play also, they have also qualities. They know what they are doing. They are not a team that they are, I think they are a specific team that they like to play with a specific system, 4-3-3. Their coach is really smart, we know him. He's been in the league for many, many years. And we try to play this kind of football. It didn't work maybe in the second half. That's why maybe I came out. They tried to bring Chicha in, maybe fresh legs with all the guys, with Grandsir, with Douglas. And at the end, it didn't work. I think it worked for maybe 25, 30 minutes. We have to keep, I think, going with the quality we have. We know that now we have many midfielders even on the bench, and that's it. It's part of the game.
Come out of a game like this feeling more frustrated than anything else?
Sorry?
You come out of a game like this feeling more frustrated than anything else?
Of course. At the end, yes. When you get the chances, you always come more frustrated, and even more when you are playing home. If you are playing in the road, maybe with the point you should be happy, we are not happy. And if everyone says something different, I don't think I'm not agree with him. We lost 2 points. We are on the fight for the playoffs because we still have, I think, 1 or 2 games on our hands. And just keep going. It's 6 finals. We had, before this road trip, we had 9 finals. We have now 6. And now we have 2 difficult games on the road. Just take as many points as possible. At least, as I said in the other road trip, 4 points. We took it. Now we missed these 2 points. But I think everything is gonna be okay. We have the new players. We are happy with what we are doing, but we have to kill the game even before.
Hey, Victor, how are you? So you dropped, the team dropped 4 points against SKC this year. They're on the bottom half of the table. San Jose as well. Why do you suppose the team finds it difficult to play against teams in the lower bottom half of the table?
For me, it's easy. They don't have nothing to lose. This kind of games for them, I was talking with the Spanish guys, in Kansas, with Fontas and Uriel Rousset, nothing to lose. They were down on the game. They were trying to get some goals. They weren't playing also good, I think. We were better than them at the beginning of the game. And then they come back in the game. They scored these 2 goals. We tried to chase the game. We had these 2 penalties. I think we could win the game at the end. They had also some chances that they could score maybe the third one. And at the end, I think maybe we deserve more. Because we had this last penalty, and we miss it. We give it away at the end. But yeah, these kind of things, as I said, they are coming here, nothing to lose. They're gonna play. If they get the 3 points, they're gonna be happy. Even with the point today, I think they're gonna be happy at the end because we had this penalty. And yeah, as I said before, I think we have to kill the game before. If we score the second goal, maybe the first half or the beginning of the second, then they are done because they don't have nothing ahead of them. They are the last or the second last. Their season, I think it's almost over because they have 5 games left. And yeah, it's part of the football, as I said before. We have to keep going because we want to be in the playoff, and we must be in the playoff.
Thanks for your time, Vic.
Thank you.
My instinct today was wrong, because you're not going to believe, it's not an excuse, but definitely Sasha came and he asked me, because he's a penalty taker too, no? So he asked me, he asked me, were you going to, do you want to take it? And I said, yes, of course. And he said, were you going to shoot it? Because I think he was thinking about that, probably the panenka, no? And I said, same side, don't worry, I got this. No worry. And honestly, I didn't think about the panenka in the whole week, the last 2 weeks at all. That's why I shoot the first one like I shot it, Then my instinct was that he did a pretty good move, and my instinct just saw it before dropping, and I instinctive. I didn't think. Sometimes I score goals like that. I saw the goalkeeper and I don't think which side. It's just I see it, the space or something. So that's exactly what happens. And of course the consequences are we didn't get the 3 points. It's a very bittersweet moment as well because I scored 2 goals. It's difficult, to feel this because you score 2 goals, you play a good game, you didn't lose at your place, but you draw. You came back, something that we were lacking in the past a lot when they were on front. That we came back twice now against Toronto and then now against Kansas. But yeah, I'd rather feel this and be brave enough to take the chance and see what happens than not take them, And like I said it to the fans, to everyone over here, I'm not going to play the victim, but yeah, I'm sorry, of course I'm sorry. It's a very key play. It's like if I will have a 1v1 at the end of the game and I miss it, it's the same. Just it's a penalty, it's more obvious. But yeah, thankfully as well, I scored 2 goals and we draw in a way, we did a pretty good effort, so it wasn't that bad, the mistake in the end, but it's a mistake. I feel responsible and we couldn't get the 2 points. The 2 points that we lost to get the win, and yeah, I need to keep working, keep giving everything. We did a very good game. We don't need to let them score twice against in our place. We need to be more of a very strong fortress in a way. So yeah, sorry that I was too long, but I want to explain that because definitely sometimes most part of my career, I saw that I scored 201, and I will tell you that 190 of my goals were pure instinct of in that moment what I see, not that I would decide most of them. It's like today as well. When I have the touch, I was thinking first post, but I saw the goalkeeper moving a little bit, and I just decided to cross it. And then in the penalty, that's what happened. I didn't plan it. It was my instinct. I did a huge mistake, and I'll take the responsibility.
And one more, when you, in a situation, when you have 2 penalties in a game, do you sort of, at times, sort of overthink it? I mean, I went right this time. Should I go right this time, or should I go left? Or?
That's why I'm telling you that my instinct, I don't know, in Mexico we say, me jugó una mala pasada. It's I live from my instinct. I trust my instinct. My instinct has been a huge part of my career. And today and other times, my instinct I just listen to it, and sometimes most of the time it's correct, and this time, the goalkeeper did a pretty good fake move because it wasn't that he was just standing up, He did a fake move even more to the left, So yeah, it was a very good decision for him, a very bad decision for me, but no, I wasn't overthinking it at all. Oh, no, at all.
What do you feel like you got out of this formation today? What did you get, and what maybe did you not get?
I think that's a very good question for Greg, for us, because, the first touch that I had, thankfully I scored a goal, and it was an amazing pass from Victor, and we practiced that in the last, one day, because we didn't have a lot of days to practice because we have the game in Toronto, obviously, and then the travel, recovery, and then other players coming, like Martin and everyone else. We get a lot of possession, we get a lot of touches in the midfielder. I think we dominate them, and we use the wings more from Jules or from a midfielder, more of a surprise run rather than in the second half, like you see against with Douglas, and with Sam. They were more positional there, and then they can dribble or get into the space. So yeah, pros and cons. I mean, yeah, like I always said in soccer and in football, in any sport, the if factor, even though that it doesn't exist, it's like, yeah, if we would have won 4-0, have another conversation. If we would have lost 4-0, other conversation. Now 2-2 is like, yeah, it's how it goes, how it went. It was a good game, not good enough to win, and then the last play of the game that it was very relevant.
Last time I asked you about Ricky, you brought up the point, you don't want to put too much pressure on him. And
of course not.
And that understood.
Yep.
But we saw again today,
Yep.
that first pass from Ricky, brilliant, and then
the pass to against
and then Victor's
Kevin.
second.
No, yes, but the pass that he did at Kevin and the first penalty was amazing.
That one as well.
Amazing.
It just seems that that's an extra dimension that this team didn't have before.
I think we did with Victor, kind of. I think Victor, Douglas Costa, and Efrain Alvarez are the players that they can have that like number 10 kind of vision sometimes. But yeah, Ricky's an amazing player, we know. But my speech and in the way that we think is going to be the same. He's 22 years old. He comes from Barcelona. He's been playing in one of the best teams in the world, one of the best leagues in the world as well. But yeah, we want him to be relaxed, commit, free, and happy in the way that he's going to do. He's not going to be the one. No one is going to be the one. You can see it as well in New York City last season when they were champions, even though that everyone was in a very top level and Castellanos was on fire. You saw everyone. Of course, he was a very key factor, but depends on everyone over there, Maxi as well, and everyone in that team. So I think I never seen, a part of Messi and sometimes Cristiano, I never seen a player who can play against 11 and do everything by himself, So that's the same with Ricky. He's going to be, or he is already a key player for us. But yeah, it's like we'll see how far he can get, how far and how good he can show, like everyone else,
Hi, Javier.
Hi.
Good evening. You scored goal number 200 for your club career. What does that mean to you being able to reach that milestone tonight?
You know what? A part of the milestone and that number, what I'm very grateful, it's how this situation happens in my life, and I take it of a very moment that everything shall pass. I scored my 200 goal and my 201, and then I missed my first panenka penalty, and I could have had a hat trick, but I scored a brace. It was like, that's life. That's life. They're grace moments. That's a very important that I want to take it as my life is like, there's grace areas. I scored 2, and I missed the most important play of the game. Then we get a point, but it's in our home. It's not that great. So there's gray areas. I think it's a good way of saying it because I scored 2 goals. Without the 2 goals, we couldn't draw. So, yeah, I'm sorry. It's a very huge and big responsibility, but as well, here is no heroes or victims. I imagine if I would have scored the hat-trick, I wouldn't be here sitting like, yeah, viva Chicharito. No. And it's like, yeah, we'll score, I won't score. Doesn't matter. We want points. We get points. We're drawing a little bit more. That is a positive. But of course, in our place, we should and we have to get every single point, every 3 points. So yeah. Perfect. Thank you.